Good morning, everybody. Let's have a look at some of these coins, and by that I mean just Bitcoin on EOS on this video. But I'm going to be making quite a few videos throughout the day. Some of it for everybody, but probably the vast majority of it will be the exclusive content that I've got for my Patreon account. So that's all quite new, but there's a link below. So if you want to subscribe to that, there will be trading tutorials, fundamental analysis, all kinds of things that you wouldn't normally get from me, and it's obviously just going to be for people on Patreon. There's a lot of other things on there, but yeah, like I say, join if you want to. There's a link below. So, first of all, we're going to follow up with what I was saying yesterday, which is my plan to scale into alts as we hit these areas of resistance for Bitcoin dominance. So that's the video I made yesterday. It was very, very brief because my daughter she's not very well. She was waking up as I was making the video, so I knew I had no time. It was like, that probably got to be the shortest video I ever made, but essentially that's basically the bottom line of what I was saying. I'm saying that this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. We used to be able to trade it within this range. Now that we've broken out of it, we clearly seem to be supported when we come down to it and getting rejected from these zones here. So this is the range to play, and when I'm talking about the range to play with Bitcoin dominance, what I mean is you buy alts between here and here, and you might think about leveling out, selling some of those alts around about here. Now there is a very strong chance of an alt season, and an alt season will take place when we break down below this support, and then obviously, you know, alts will go crazy. You think Bitcoin's gone crazy, you wait till you see an alt season, like an amazing alt season, like the one that is, it's not 100% in the bag, but it could be quite likely, and if we do break this support, it would be unbelievable. So by what I'm doing is I'm statistically trying to play the odds, alright? So buying alts when we're coming into here, if it goes up, which means that alts get hurt more, which is kind of a little bit what like happened yesterday, then you buy more. Until you get to this level here where it's likely to be rejected, and then the rejection could be so dramatic that it could come all the way down here and break this and all the way down. Now the good thing about this support zone at the moment is that it's descending, which means with every rejection here, even if we are coming down to the support is ever so small, lower each time, which means that the rise in alts should be higher each time we come down to test it and then scale out. So scaling in up here all the way up to up here, and scaling out down here, and hoping that we do have a massive drop all the way back down here to the 55% dominant zone, which you can only imagine what altcoins would look like if Bitcoin lost 20% of its dominance. You can only imagine what that would mean. That basically means the money that's in Bitcoin now leaves Bitcoin to go into altcoins. So that would be fantastic. That's the dream. That's the one that we're all trying to chase. And some of these altcoins, the vast majority of the altcoins that I've been buying are mid to low cap coins. I'm not getting involved with the things like Ethereum and Litecoin and a little bit of XRP here, but that's because it's extremely oversold and it's a bit of a gamble. And the only top coin that I'm, the highest cap coin that I am trading is EOS. So let's have a look at EOS. So EOS, the reason I like this is because this is following a nice consolidation pattern that seems to have broken out now, and we're in the accumulation phase. Now I've spoken about this a lot since it's happened basically, and what I've been saying is accumulation is for buying in. It's not particularly for going long in, it's for buying in. So you buy the buy the token when it's in this zone, because it can stay in this zone for a reasonable period of time. There's no particular amount of time that accumulation takes place, and it can take weeks, it can take months. But in this instance, given the fact that we are looking at a potential alt season, the chances of it taking months is quite low. And I actually think that we're looking at a big move with EOS maybe in the next week or two. Now a lot of that depends on this when we look at it on the weekly. Alright, so as you can see, we've got this big Ichimoku cloud, which is absolutely understandable considering we've come all the way from down here, and it was higher than this, by the way. This is when it came onto Binance. The EOS chart was higher than this. It's around about $23 at its all-time high. So if we're looking at it in that respect, we can measure it from, let's just be conservative, we'll say 21, all the way down to the bottom. There's a 92, 93, almost 94% retracement, and we had a bottom zone here, and then we also had a double bottom here, which is interesting because when this bottomed out with all the other tokens, most tokens found a new double bottom in March when we had the crash, but it was lower. So most tokens found a lower low, but EOS didn't. Even if it did, it was marginal, it was tiny. But what we're looking for here is we're waiting, and I've been waiting patiently every week for us to close around these zones, really. Anywhere above $3.20 would be ideal, in the hope that we get this conversion to cross this baseline on the Ichimoku cloud. And what that signifies when that sort of thing happens is that it should spark a continuous move up. Now, as this is clearly in a out of consolidation into accumulation, this cross to me would have more relevance than the crosses that we've had in the past, because we have had crosses in the past, but we've been in a consolidation phase. So look, we had a cross. There was a cross here. That was a buy signal on a weekly for a continuous move from there, which wasn't a bad one if you think about it. So if we bought on this cross, I mean, the next week we moved all the way up here. That was a 109% increase in price, and then obviously, you know, spiked and came back down. Remember, this is in the consolidation phase, so that, you know, that's a good move for something that is technically in a bearish consolidation. When did we have the next one? So this one took place here. We had one here, and again, you know, we'll measure it from this week here up to the top, and that was a 52% move. And again, we were still in consolidation, bearish situation there. We still had one here. This one was a bit too late. This one is a contrived cross, and this took place after the pump. But this time it's going to be different, and in my opinion the reason it's different is because we have crept out of the consolidation and now we're into accumulation. So the next time we do get a cross, I expect to see, not immediately, but these things do seem to happen faster than I would expect usually. When we saw the one with XRP, I said this is the buy signal that we're waiting for, but in my mind I didn't think anything was going to happen until January. And actually it happened, you know, later on that week it took place, you know, so it was literally the cross took place and the following week it went up 140% or something. So, and I'm not saying that that's going to happen with EOS, but you know, like when these crosses happen and these signals happen, they're not saying it's going to go up X amount. What we do after that is we look at where it's been before and we look at where it's likely to go after. So what I said when XRP happened, and there's no correlation with XRP and EOS, I'm just talking about when the signals take place. So that when the signal happened, I said, look, we're looking to break above the Ichimoku cloud, and at that point I said, look, we're probably talking about 35 cents. So at that point, you know, that from 24 cent to 35 cent, that's a nice move, especially for a coin which appeared to be dead to the world, and everybody thought that it would never move. And I said, well, I think it will move, and I think now's the time it will move, and then it moved. Right? These are simple indicators. Again, these are things I'll teach on my Patreon, but they are simple indicators. Once you get the hang of them, they're very easy to use, but they work best on a long-term time frame. And this is why I'm excited about EOS, because, you know, we've waited a long time for an opportunity like this, and the opportunity, you know, is not here yet. We've not had the cross, but it looks like it's likely to happen soon, and that basically means that, you know, we should take advantage of this accumulation phase while we're in it, because the targets, particularly on this chart, are essentially meeting the stair steps up. So we've had the steps down and they were nice and neat, and now we're looking to see the opposite. So imagine having a mirror and putting it on this chart. That's kind of the idea of what I'm looking to see as an example, and probably more aggressive given the fact that the market at the moment is more aggressive. But, you know, that's just an educated guess. That's not based on anything particularly. So yeah, buying in down here, and where the targets are going to be. So the first target is clearly going to be where we've been rejected recently in this accumulation phase. But once we get that cross, I think this will push right through this zone. To be honest, this is just you know, we've already come up to test it, and this was the bottom of of consolidation, so we're still in bearish mode here. This was into accumulation, and we already had a stab at it. So you could say that the mirror has been drawn down this line here, and now we're already seeing that the effects of this inverse chart basically is what we're looking to see. So we've already tested that, so I think the next time we come up to test it, I think we'll likely break through it, and I think we're going to come up to around about this zone, which is our previous peak, which is around about $5.40 $5.50. Again, when something goes extremely aggressive, like I am expecting it to, don't hold me hostage to, say that this is definitely how it's going to happen. Everything is speculative. It's based on stats, technical analysis, and likelihood of probability of the move taking place. And again, we've not had that signal yet, so anything could happen. Plus, everything hangs in the balance in the health of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin decides it doesn't want anyone else to move up anymore by crashing or dumping, then it will throw a spanner in the works with this. So you always have to bear that in mind. But this chart alone, once we've got that cross, this area, in my opinion, will be taken out relatively quick, and we'll be moving up to $5.40, probably on the next big move. And then, of course, consolidation will take place, just like what we saw with these moves. Apart from, instead of making lower lows, we'll be making higher lows. So I would imagine, maybe after a big move like that, we could perhaps maybe come all the way back down to around about $3.80. But a lot of this also depends on the state of the moving averages and where they are at the time. They will probably want to catch up with the price action, and wherever the price action is at the time that they're caught up to it, that's where I would imagine the supports to be. So to say that historical price action will be the supports isn't the way I like to play these things. I like to play them, especially in a bull market, on the back of moving averages, and I don't know where they'll be until the move's taken place. Time and price action are the best ways to play a bull market. Anyway, that's all I've really got for you on EOS, but I hope that has been useful for you. So like I say, I started scaling in yesterday, and it seems to be working okay for the moment. If this doesn't work out for me and this continues up here, I will still scale into altcoins. I'll be buying more altcoins. That's my state of play. But I'm no financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my take on the market and my preparation to try and make the most of it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Take it easy.